So this is the swearing-in ceremony of Narendra Modi's cabinet, and what you are looking at are leaders who are being sworn in at this moment, who are going to be a part of the Narendra Modi cabinet. This is going to be Narendra Modi's biggest cabinet, and according to the word that's come in, at least 72 Council of Ministers are going to be sworn in. The swearing-in ceremony started about 7:15 p.m. and it's been ongoing for well over 1 hour and 45 minutes, and we expect this ceremony to continue for some more time. Not everyone needs to be sworn in at this moment in the Council of Ministers. What you're looking at are some of the most prominent faces which are going to be a part of Narendra Modi's cabinet. The inner circle of Narendra Modi's cabinet remains intact. That is what it appears. The key portfolios of finance, of home, foreign affairs and defense and law ministry. These are the 5 key portfolios. It does appear that Narendra Modi has managed to keep these 5 portfolios with himself. What was very interesting is that H.D. Kumaraswamy, the leader of Janata Dala Secular from the state of Karnataka, he was sworn in as the 6th or the 7th member of this Council of Ministers. It will be very interesting to see as to what portfolio he's managed to wrest from the BJP, with whom he's been in alliance in the state of Karnataka this time round. And we have Mr. R.K. Upadhyay, who's a senior journalist who is still with us on this broadcast. Mr. R.K. Upadhyay, the fact that, H.D. Kumaraswamy is a former chief minister of Karnataka and who's been pretty happy to be in alliance with both the Congress party and this time round he's of course with the BJP party, to be sworn in as a member of a council of a minister 6th or 7th in his number. So he is expected to, it appears, get a pretty important portfolio. What's your reading on that front?
Salai, Kumaraswamy has already indicated that he would be very happy to take up agriculture ministry because he comes from an agricultural family and he thinks he can do justice to that, and he has some ideas as to what agriculture needs. So that is probably one of the demands that he will put forward. But I don't think he will insist, because he will take up whatever that is given to him. He's one of the very humble persons. In fact, he has been chief minister twice, and this is his 5th term. Election that he's contesting for the Lok Sabha, and the 3rd time he has got elected to the parliament. He's also been a member of the Legislative Assembly, and in the last 25 years, he's had varied experiences in Karnataka, and it's a great moment for him and his family. Former Prime Minister H.D. Devegowda is 91 years old. I think he's one of those who's in the swearing ceremony. I don't know whether he has been sworn or not. I heard that he had traveled to Delhi to see that his son being inducted into the cabinet.
Professor S.P. Singh Baghel. मैं प्रोफेसर एस.पी. सिंह बघेल ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा। मैं संघ के राज्य मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगा तथा मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगा। मैं प्रोफेसर एस.पी. सिंह बघेल ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि जो विषय संघ के राज्य मंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे राज्य मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के सम्यक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगा।
All right, so that is SP Singh Baghel, the Bharatiya Janata Party politician who's in fact won from the seat in the city of Agra. He's of course won the Lok Sabha constituency seat there. He's previously of course been a part of the Narendra Modi cabinet as well, where he was the Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, and he held this portfolio for well over a year. He had earlier worked as Minister of State for Law and Justice, and this of course is an important member of the Narendra Modi's Council of Ministers circle. Now remember, this is a very important seat and we need to be watching out for who else is going to be a part of this Council of Ministers.
संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगी। मैं भारत के प्रभुता और अखंडता का अक्षुण्ण रखूंगी। मैं संघ का राज्य का मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगी तथा मैं भय और या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों की प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगी। मैं शोभा करंदलाजे ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूं कि जो विषय संघ के राज्य मंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का सम्यक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसे करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगी।
All right, so that was Shobha Karandlaje there, the BJP leader who's won from the Lok Sabha constituency of Bengaluru North. She's in the past also been a part of Narendra Modi's Council of Ministers, where from the years 2023 till 24, she was a Minister of State in the Ministry of Food Processing Industries of India. So an important and a prominent face within Karnataka politics, getting a seat within the expanded Council of Ministers. This, remember, is the biggest Council of Ministers that Narendra Modi's government will, of course, be swearing in to accommodate many of the allies who are going to be a part of this administration. And Michael,
मैं कीर्तिवर्धन सिंह ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं मेरे द्वारा स्थापित
mix of leadership that's being brought in. What we are looking at is that Narendra Modi has kept his core cabinet intact, but he's been willing to bring in many of the allies, and they've all been accommodated into what is going to be the biggest Council of Ministers that Narendra Modi is going to be swearing in as the Prime Minister.
या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगा। मैं कीर्तिवर्धन सिंह ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि जो विषय संघ के राज्य मंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे राज्य मंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के सम्यक निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष अथवा अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से
Ministers continues in the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and I hope my colleague Dharmjot Kaur is through with us. Dharmjot, if you can hear me now, the question that I was asking you was, what we are looking at is a swearing-in ceremony where Narendra Modi has managed to keep the key portfolios of his inner cabinet intact. But what we are also looking at is that he's made accommodations to bring in members from his alliance partners in what is effectively going to be the biggest Council of Ministers that is going to be sworn in under the Narendra Modi government.
Well, absolutely, Saleh. We did see that the Bharatiya Janata Party has kept the biggest portfolios, within its fold itself, and a lot of, union leaders making a comeback from Modi 2.0. But as you pointed out, we saw some of the biggest names from the alliance partners, including the Janata Dal United, the Janata Dal Secular, and also, the Telugu Desam Party, and also the LJP, all of those who now play a critical role in ensuring that the government remains in majority. So leaders from all these respective parties also took oath as part of the cabinet now that is being led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the third time in a row. I'd like to point out, that especially the JDU and the TDP are very, very critical to this alliance, with both parties having 16 and 12 seats respectively. So their support here remains key for the BJP since the ruling party did not secure a clear majority this time. But it was also interesting to note, Saleh, that nobody from, the breakaway factions of Shiv Sena and NCP have made it to the cabinet so far. So it'll be interesting to watch out how that will play out in terms of, whether they'll be given smaller ministries later on. We just a short while ago heard, Ajit Pawar make a statement in terms of how his senior leader, Praful Patel, should be given, a union cabinet ministry and not a ministry of state or a smaller ministry to look after, given his seniority and the fact that he's been a union minister before. So it's still, even though we're seeing the Bharatiya Janata Party, try to balance the scales in terms of, power sharing, there are still a couple of factions that may or may not be, satisfied in terms of how this has turned out. Like the leaders pointed out, they're still waiting to see if down the road there is a cabinet ministry in their kitty. So very interesting dynamic so far, Saleh. Whether this remains, whether we see a shuffle later on, all of these will be very interesting developments to watch out for.
Absolutely, indeed. Now, Dharam, the ceremony of swearing in of the Council of Ministers still continues. What is, of course, going to be talked about in the days to come are the two prominent faces who so far have not been inducted yet. We do not know what, of course, is going to happen, but the two key faces who seem to be missing from what we've witnessed in the earlier tenure of Narendra Modi's government are the faces of Smriti Irani and Anurag Thakur, who have not been sworn in yet. Any information we have on that front?
Well, it was very surprising indeed, Saleh. I think this has been, a big point of conversation ever since we saw both these BJP heavyweights missing from, the meeting that was held before the oath-taking ceremony. So both Smriti Irani and Anurag Thakur were not present in that meeting, which is what then later led to the speculation that these two ministers might be dropped from the cabinet this time. And we are now seeing that unfold. We see both these ministers in the audience and not up on the dais. So a very interesting dynamic given the fact that Anurag Thakur actually didn't win his, from his parliamentary constituency in Himachal this time. And also the fact that he had two ministries in 2019. He was the sports minister and the information and broadcast minister as well. A big disappointment for Smriti Irani here too, given the fact that one, she also lost from a Lok Sabha seat after winning it for 2 consecutive terms. And then the fact that she was the Women and Child Development Minister, but now there is no cabinet seat to her name this time, Saleh.
Right. And also, Dharam, you've been tracking the developments very closely all through the 7 phases of the elections. The fact that the BJP has won 7 out of 7 seats in the national capital, New Delhi, and one of the key faces was, of course, Manoj Tiwari there. We've not had him being sworn in so far. Any update whether he could be a part of a enlarged, Council of Ministers of the Narendra Modi government?
Well, not yet at the moment, Saleh. I mean, we're obviously all talking about, what is speculative at the moment, and everybody is viewing this entire ceremony unfold in front of them.
Dharam, if I can just interrupt you there, what we have is Suresh Gopi, the very interesting leader from Kerala who's being brought in as a council minister. Let's listen in there.
And integrity of India, that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge my duties as a Minister of State for the Union, and that I will do right to all manner of people in accordance with the Constitution and the law, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. I, Suresh Gopi, do swear in the name of God that I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person or persons any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall become known to me as a Minister of State for the Union, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as such Minister of State.
Congratulations.